Hey, what's up everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I guess I donated my fan to the other motel because when I got in the car, it wasn't in there with me. I thought, see, this is what happened. I put some of my stuff in the car. The driver put some of my stuff in the car, and he was the last one to go. I thought he got everything. He left the fan over there, and I wasn't thinking. And so I didn't even look and glance. I just assumed that everything was in the car like a dummy. So it's going to cost the same amount, more or less, to Uber back over there and then Uber back over here with a fan that it's going to cost me to get a new fan. And even though I just purchased this fan a couple weeks ago, there's already a crack in it anyway. And so it's like, what, 20 bucks, 25 bucks at the most. So I'm just going to go grab another one from Target right now while we wait for her to allow for me to let come into the room, because they make you wait for processing, which is pretty normal. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Gonna get myself a fan, and yeah, I feel pretty good, man. I feel really good, actually. Things have been going smoothly. I don't even find myself the slightest bit uncomfortable about the fan, to be honest with you. It's just something I'm gonna go purchase. Hopefully they have them there, but if not, then I'll just get one another day. But you know, it is what it is, man. So yeah, they have rooms here for me. Shouldn't be a problem getting in the room today. Last night went well. I got my deposit back from those folks without any issues. So everything went smooth. And made my Laker video this morning, which I was debating on whether or not I would actually have time to do so, because at the end of the day, it was check out at 10, and I started eating breakfast at like 9:15. So it's like I threw away half of that breakfast. I didn't want to finish eating it. I'm like, I'd rather do my video. So that's exactly what I did. I ate a little bit until I got full and threw it away, because that's just how much food was actually in that bowl. But anyway, not important. What is important is that everything goes smoothly today. Very thankful that my uncle and my grandfather continue to cover me financially. Got in the car this morning with somebody solid, you know what I mean? The ride was smooth, so I can't complain. And now we just go spend 20 bucks on a fan. It should be fine to get, man. I got my last fan from this place, so it shouldn't be hard to get another one. But yeah, man, there's no real thoughts on my mind, man. I just want people to have a solid day, a good weekend ahead. Doesn't feel like a Friday to me, to be honest with you, but it is. Of course, we got another early Laker game tonight, so I'm probably gonna just stay on this side of town. I've already done laundry before I got out of the room, so I really don't have a whole lot to do, man. I did a lot of art yesterday. I'll probably end up doing a lot more of it today in the room before the game. So that's just kind of how it is, you know. When the game starts at 4:30, it's like, man, you ain't really got a lot of time to do a whole lot of moving around, exercising, all this different stuff. By the time I check into the room, it's like 12:30, you know what I mean? So get settled in, unload everything, and next thing you know it's game time. So that's just what it is, man. I would love to tell you guys that I missed the Lakers so much throughout the summer, but I actually enjoyed my schedule a lot. And given that the team ain't playing all that great, it's kind of a burden trying to keep up with their schedule. I'm looking forward to the 5 days off that's coming this week, where they're gonna have some time away from the sport. So we're gonna make it work, and hopefully we'll get some wins and get some rest for the squad, and get some rest for myself, man, and all of us talking heads who do this, trying to keep up with their schedule. So yeah, man, that's really what it is. I ain't got a whole lot to say. Had an interesting dream last night. Had a very interesting dream last night. I was sitting with my mom, and we were going through old pictures, and we found a picture of her and somebody that was named Orlando Anderson. Now, we know Orlando Anderson is the guy who allegedly shot Tupac, although there was some discrepancy about whether or not he was actually the shooter, or if it was not somebody else in the car, or a lot of evidence at this point pointing that it might be somebody else in the car who actually did the shooting and not Orlando. But nevertheless, Orlando Anderson's the name, I believe, of the guy. I think it was Orlando Anderson that was allegedly accused of killing Tupac. However, in this dream, he was not the same Orlando Anderson, didn't look nothing like that guy, he just had the same name. And he was, as soon as my mom saw the picture of this dude, it was like she was triggered. It was her standing next to this person, and she was triggered. And I asked her, and she got up and walked out the room when she saw the picture. Now, mind you, this is not something that ever happened in real life. She didn't know of anyone named Orlando, to my understanding. And this was a picture of her back when she was a young woman, like in her 20s. And I remember like saying to my mom, it was something along the lines of, she didn't, and I may have either asked her what was the problem, or it was like I told her, you don't have to talk about this. Your reaction is good enough. I'm not overly curious about what happened to where I'm going to further trigger you. I get it. It was that kind of vibe. Like, she didn't have to tell me that she went through hell with that dude. Her reaction told me she went through hell with that dude, and therefore I didn't want her to have to revisit it no further than the picture. But it was like we were continuing to look at the picture. And if I remember correctly, in the dream, we were in San Francisco. Like I was with her in San Francisco for some reason. It was almost like I was in a place that she used to live. Something like that. And I visited where she used to live in San Francisco, but never actually went inside the place. One of the girls' home that she used to live in real life, we actually took a picture. I have that picture in my Bible as my my bookmark for my Bible. It's her pointing at the plaque outside of the building, Madam C.J. Walker's, in San Francisco. So I remember we had a whole day where we went down to that place, took pictures, went down some of her old neighborhoods, Potrero Hill, and ended up getting in a car accident at the bottom of a hill after leaving a McDonald's at random. It's weird stuff that happened that day. But yeah, it's weird, man. I don't remember exactly how things correlated, but like throughout the rest of the dream, I found myself like guessing what had happened, or believing I understood what had happened between her and this person. And I guess somewhere in the dream I ended up seeing this dude. Like, I ended up seeing him. And of course he's an older man now. Like in this future era of my dream, he had grown older. He probably in his 60s now, or something like that in the dream. Like, now I see this dude and I just walk up to him and I grab him by his shoulders, and I'm like going to like wrestle him to the ground and do something terrible to him. And I was saying to him, like, I know what you did to my mom. I know what happened with you and my mom. And my energy toward him was very violent. I woke up before I really got a chance to do anything to the dude, but my intentions was to do to him something terrible, whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Like something terrible. It wasn't going to be pretty. And so I don't know what that dream was about. Like I said, I don't know my mom had any adventures with some dude that made her triggered in any real life situation. She told me a lot of stories in life, some of which I won't repeat because they were so serious. None of which would be equated to what it is that this dream was insinuating. She never told me no stories like that. She never told me there was some dude that gave her hell. Not like that. She told me of plenty of ex-boyfriends. She told me of plenty of friends, but nothing like that. So I thought that was a weird dream, man. A very strange dream. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the context. But that dude's name rang out in my dream all night long. Like, it was hard to explain, but it was like his name was just sitting on the dream for the rest of the evening, until I saw him randomly in the dream and was able to actually get to him. And so that was really deep. I don't know what triggered that dream into play. I don't know what I watched or what I've seen or what I've heard recently that would make that a relevant scenario. But I just remember, like, in my dream feeling a great deal of rage when I saw that dude finally. It was like, this ain't gonna work out. You know what I mean? And so that's really something I felt was important to share. I don't know why any of that was in my head. So yeah, man, prayers out for all the people who are going through domestic violence situations or uncomfortable situations with people they used to deal with that would otherwise be triggering when they see pictures of them people, whatever the case may be, man. Prayers out to all the people who have to react to that as a loved one of the victim or whatever. I don't know what it feels like to be in your shoes, but my dream surely put me in a space where I was simulating such, and I was crashing out, very much so. So yeah, man, I feel for all the people out there who have family members who have been through that, brothers out there who, you know what I mean, their daughters, their sisters, their mamas, and been through stuff like that, and they live with a certain rage that it's probably gonna have them crashing out when they finally see that person. Prayers out to you, man, because that is not a pretty space of mind, and that I don't know what that really feels like in real life is a real blessing. I'll tell you that. And I want people to think about that if you are thinking all frivolously in regards to how you treat the women in your life. Think about that. You know, you don't know. That might be what triggers your end. That might trigger somebody crashing out on you. That might trigger something real bad that you don't even see coming because of what it is that you just allow yourself to do to that woman or that girl. You know what I'm saying? I always say, man, don't just think about the people who are attached, or don't just think about the people in front of you. Think about the people who may be attached to them. Maybe it's a weak person in front of you that you don't think nothing of and you might be bullying or whatever. Behind them might be somebody that bully you, you know what I mean? Behind them might be somebody that'll go to jail for the rest of their life over them. So always say, respect who you're in front of. You know, you never know who's attached to whom. Sometimes it's the very people you don't think nothing of that have the most consequences to your fate, so to speak. There's just no way of really knowing these things. The world is a strange place in that way. So let's be mindful of how we treat one another. That's what I say. So that's pretty much what I got for that particular statement. All eyes on Gaza. On that note, I think this is probably one of the first mornings where I didn't really go on the app to really check and see what's all on Instagram for me to see today. I haven't seen anything today. But that's only because I didn't have time to. I'm sure if I clicked on it, I'm sure there would be something to see. So that's the reality of it, man. That continues to be the plight of our world right now. Actually, one thing I did see this morning, Angola, it was Conscious Lee was talking about. Shout out Conscious Lee. I'm really intrigued by his content. He's informing everybody on different things going on around the world, and very good person to follow right now for your information. In different social situations around the world, but he was putting up some content on Angola and essentially all the different things that are going on, and people trying to take minerals and cobalt for our tech from that place, and gave us a little background on the history and what's going on currently as America and China are trying to continue to pillage the land of Africa and not invest in the people there and make them work for free and doing all types of stuff that we have laws against in regards to treating one another. We don't apply that same logic to other places that otherwise, if would change our whole economic structure in regards to paying fairly to them what they are deserving of. We would all be in debt to those places if we decided to apply the same laws and the same lawyer logic to their humanity as we apply to our own, which I think is due, to be honest with you. There should be trillionaires over there in these countries. Instead, they're paid pennies in horrible situations and their lives are discarded of as people freely break their laws that they have for themselves, because they don't look at them as human beings, and yet they have the most important stuff, the most valuable stuff. If a rich man in this country owns $1 billion worth of oil, he's very important. But an African child whose land has $1 trillion worth of minerals is worth nothing. Does that make any sense? If I'm born to an oil field family, I'm wealthy. But if I'm born in Angola, where wealth is found under my feet, I'm poor? I don't think that we've tried to make that make any sense, because we're too busy benefiting off of it and enjoying the culture that from which treating those people poorly is accepted. And I think that that's hypocrisy. And I think if we're offended by hypocrisy, it wouldn't hurt to start looking at some of the hypocritical cultures that we align with in regards to treating people in other countries like crap while demanding fairness for ourselves. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. I think that's an important thing to think about as we go forward into the holidays. And I appreciate everybody for watching Media 44. I'm out.